What up, everybody? Here we are in hopefully the final installment of this NOD walkthrough here in the 13th mission, playing in Cape Town. Took the westernmost selection, so I would say 13A would be our selection. And we are going to finish out GDI, so it's exciting for us. If you see that potentially this video length is a little bit longer than the last couple ones, I am cognizant of it. The reason is because if we finish this, I want to go through the final cutscenes and just finish it off in this video. And the final cutscenes, if you guys are not aware, man, the ending to this game is one of the most BA ideas and creations for an ending of a game that I have ever been a part of. I don't want to blow the spoiler alert for you guys that do know. I don't want to blow it for a few of you guys that don't know, but it's creative in the sense that it not only ends the game with a cool ending that is written, written out, obviously, in the story. I'll get to that in a second. Right now I want to talk strategy real quick. See, there's a plateau on the western side of the eastern GDI base. Take out that harvester eventually. There's a and then it is unguarded, so you want to make sure you expose that. Get some of your engineers in there, some infantry units to help defend. And after a little bit of time, once you get an obelisk of NOD built up that you can put down immediately, you want to send an engineer in, capture the westernmost structure, which happens to be a power plant. Capturing power plants will help take out the advanced guard tower. So first thing you want to target though is any threatening units, so infantry or guard towers. You capture that, capture advanced power plant, another con yard. You can put down a barracks eventually. Looks like we lost that bad boy, so we're gonna have to take out that advanced guard tower. They really only have infantry in that base right now because they're struggling financially. Make sure you guard those harvesters and they're not going anywhere you don't want them to go. Put another obelisk of NOD down. That will allow you to just wreak havoc inside their base. Anybody that comes near you will get torn to shreds or burnt to a crisp. But the thing is, they have a con yard here. Commando went down. That's sad. A con yard here and one in their western base. So even if you take out a structure here, don't think that's the end to their structures. They can rebuild. So just to let you know. And dang, we're losing our engineers. Gotta take out this barracks before they can keep reproducing, guys. And take out that. So they obviously have a few more advanced power plants in here, but that guy is getting the barracks, or Hand of Nod's taking the attention of the advanced guard tower. Capture the con yard. You have access to their tech tree right now. Not a huge thing. If you want to put a helipad down, but since I'm not really in the mood to make an infantrymen or armored vehicles in this particular mission, it's not a huge deal to have their tech tree. With that Temple of NOD, I'm not really going to use it, quite frankly. I mean, you can easily eradicate the western base now with it once it's ready, but I want to show you guys kind of the full-fledged walkthrough without having to resort to nuclear missiles in this mission, because it's very possible to complete it without it. So you can put a helipad down. We'll see if I have funds for that eventually, but just take out the refinery. No need to capture it with the harvester. Obviously this guard tower needs to go. And then once it's out, they have another one on the a little bit to the east, and so make sure you watch that when you're sending your engineers in to capture some more buildings. Just keep eradicating their base. Any structures that come up and destroyed, put another dent into their economy. So it is still productive. So let's see if we can get any funds out of that. Really not too much, because I am producing some structures still. Keep sending some engineers in. Beautiful, and remember, watch those harvesters. I am failing to do that very well, so watch those harvesters. And they'll go for my power plants. Not terrible. Looks like we'll lose one, but I'm still in a power surplus. Gets to the point where you don't really need some of your obelisks eventually because of taking out their bases. As you can see right there, it's important for you to get a Hand of NOD up once they build that second con yard. We got a couple more advanced guard towers, so see right there, it's very difficult to send your units in north. Going in that western opening is going to be your best bet. So capture that con yard as soon as you are able to do so. So get an engineer up and capture that sucker. and you can sell him off. Don't really need him. Get a quick burst of funds. Same goes for one of those obelisks of NOD. You can probably sell them without really suffering any negative repercussions. But then again, we're continuing to waste their economy by doing so. Just sell that for some quick money. Hand of NOD is really probably your only useful thing to have in here in terms of a main structure, so you can continue producing engineers. You can capture that weapons factory as well. I think they might be out of power over here, so those advanced guard towers would become obsolete. Take out those silos, really not much money in them. You might as well get rid of them now because you're going to have to destroy every structure and unit as we go on. So things are looking up right now. They keep building that one. That's not bad for us. Keep targeting buildings around you, and then it's going to stall a little bit, and you're going to realize, okay, now it's time to go to the western side. That's why getting a little engineer strike force going for this transport helicopter. That's why at any point in this mission, from my perspective, if you lose a transport helicopter, it's still a completable mission, but it's very much the difficulty level spikes considerably. So if you want to abort and restart or go back to your last save file, albeit by all means do that, because you're going to struggle in getting to these certain locations. It's not like there's another form of transport helicopter that you can make, or another way of transporting units other than land. So very discreetly make sure you land this transport helicopter over here. Once again, if you have an obelisk of NOD and you have the money or enough money to produce one, I would build one. We can probably sell one of those bad boys sometime. I would build one, continue getting whatever scraps over here. I'd build one, put one down to where you'll be capturing some more structures, kind of rinse and repeat type of deal. For the group that I sent in the second transport helicopter, you want to send with a rocket launcher and a couple engineers, obviously, as they did last time. By doing so, with those rocket launchers, your rocket soldiers, you're able to punch through this cement wall that's over there. Watch out for a transport helicopter. They won't really attack your infantry units, but you can see right here why there is a definite need to have that obelisk and NOD ready. Punching a hole in that cement wall will allow your engineers to run through, and obviously advanced power plants are important to capture. They carry a significant load of energy, and there's definitely some energy reliant structures still remaining in the GDI base. Those advanced guard towers, and then most notably that advanced comm center. So hopefully they're oblivious to our attempts to crack a hole in their base. It looks like they are for now, going simply for that rocket soldier. Conveniently, we have a NOD obelisk ready. We can put that down to where there's a spot open. I wouldn't really worry about capturing all the buildings around you. If there's some you can take out right away, you can still subsist without another advanced power plant. Go ahead and sell it. We'll try to capture this one. That will give us a nice boost. And you can tell right now, I believe normally you would be getting fired at by advanced guard tower if their power was still online. So I think that's an indication that their power is offline. Power offline, the ion cannon would be neutralized as well. And at this point, you're pretty much home free to send a nuke in. The nuke in Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn is maybe the most powerful super weapon of all the super weapons in the game. Nuke in Red Alert 1 is pretty powerful too, but the ion cannon is so underpowered compared to the nuclear missile that can wipe out entire bases, essentially. It goes straight through con yards. If you remember from Red Alert 2, those nuclear missiles just weren't as strong as you would suspect them to be in taking out certain structures. They had the fallout. Weather control device was good as well, but this might be the most overpowered. You can't capture the advanced comm center. I believe you have to destroy it solely. So let's go in and we'll capture some of these remaining buildings. Doesn't really matter at this point. Your funds should be doing decent. The only reason they wouldn't is if you're preoccupied with the capturing of their base and your harvesters are picking their nose because they're in that little assignment conflict. They don't know which refinery they need to go to. And once again, the minigun are in action. I like to compare them to men-at-arms in Age of Empires. Just do their job and trust you and are pretty decent in large numbers. So take out this this guy. Could probably sell this harvester over there, or that obelisk over there for some more minigunners. And at this point, it's just about scouring the map and finding out where the remaining units are. You're probably going to get fired at by those guard towers. Advanced guard towers will not be anything to worry about right now. So a little over 10 minutes in. Hope you guys are enjoying this final part of the Tiberian Dawn walkthrough. I will be doing Covert Ops at some point, but not now. I want to jump ahead into Age of Empires, the Forgotten Empires, and I have another project that I am working on as well right now. So I'm going to move on to those things, and Pokemon Silver should be finishing up tomorrow. Not tomorrow, it should already be done, just finished by the time you guys will be seeing this video. And at this point, it's up to you. You can capture some of these remaining buildings and sell them off. Obviously you can't capture guard towers. I am just going to build some Apaches, help me more quickly take out these guard towers, and why not? Apaches are maybe my favorite unit vehicle in this entire game. Covert Ops has some absolutely dope vehicles and units. Chem Warriors, you guys remember from Renegade, who actually looked different than a typical flamethrower unit. They don't really look that difficult than the flamethrower unit here in the original game, but they spit Tiberium coming out of them, and this is freaking weird. I'm firing at this guard tower, but it's not registering at all, so I'm probably going to have to do an aerial assault on it. A different unit for it to register, otherwise that'd be a sucky way to not be able to complete a mission. A structure just like won't take damage. So as with the Orcas, I believe you may need 3, nope, it looks like 2 Apaches can work on a guard tower. A little bit less defense and HP than a turret would have with NOD, because you remember when you're attacking a repaired or repairing turret, you have to deal with a couple strikes if you're only going to use 2 Orcas, and by the time you get refueled, it's probably going to be too late. So just find wherever units are left over, and I am getting excited for you guys to see the final ending of the NOD Tiberian Dawn walkthrough and game. If there are a number of benchmark moments in my gaming career that kind of have created key memory moments in my mind, I would say this one is getting the Apache Longbow in Command & Conquer. Let's see what else. Giga Bowser and Super Smash Bros. Melee. Trying to see what else. Getting Celebi on Game Shark, I'm not sure.
Construction complete.
Something freaky, something unique, something glitchy that shouldn't happen. I don't know. Some cheat codes in backyard basketball potentially as well. This one may be the most impactful of any moment in a video game for me. No, or Johto turning into Kanto and me not realizing that that was also a thing. So you guys will get to share in that, but honestly, if you're watching this late into the video, you've probably already played through this game. You're not still in that review process. I know if I'm looking into a game that I haven't played, and especially one that's almost as old as me, about 20 years old right now. If you're watching this, you've definitely played through this game, I'm guessing. So, hey, thanks for sticking around this late. So it looks like they got about 4 or 5 structures left. There's probably a few infantrymen hanging around. But going back to what I so much like about this ending is how it integrates you into the game itself, and how while it's sad, it was kind of a predictor of what we would see in the future. It's a sad prediction, but it's eerily accurate. Same can be said for some of the tragedies, obviously, with 9/11 and what we saw in Red Alert 2 with having to take out the 2 towers, and then the White House, and then the Kremlin. Just kind of those terrorist acts, obviously. You hate to see them, but they did pop up. And then Lewis Castle and Brett Sperry in their creation of this game, understanding it'd be more relevant, culturally relevant, historically relevant if it included modern warfare, kind of a structured organization going up against a loose terrorist group. They thought that would be relevant and would resonate for years to come, and obviously today that is exactly what's occurring essentially against ISIS, and which had been throughout the entire Gulf War and things of that matter. So it's really prophetic and it's kind of scary, but it's definitely a testament to the creativity and cultural awareness and just intelligence of the creators of this game. It's a lot more sophisticated than your average game, even though looking at it graphically, I mean, that 8-bit action looks pretty dorky, or, you know, playing it now, but for then it was phenomenal, and the music was great. Frank Kopacki was coming into his own. There's a lot of individual elements that can really be celebrated. So I'm saving this big behemoth for the final remaining structure, Kablawi. Thought everyone might like that. And thank you guys. That is the conclusion of this NOD Tiberian Dawn walkthrough and Tiberian Dawn walkthrough as a whole. Thank you for following me all the way through. It was a pretty quick one relative to some of my other games. Enjoy this cutscene thoroughly. I'll be back in a second.
Your efforts have landed us here, my faithful friend. The temple is complete, and we are about to embark upon our greatest exploit. For now, relax, and watch as my netrunners dance through the web of cyberspace. Once inside, the world is at my fingertips. Begin.
Welcome to the Global Defense Initiative Orbital Defense Matrix.
The world. Where to strike? Where will the world most keenly feel the blade of GDI treachery? You have done much to aid the Brotherhood towards this final victory. The choice, my friend, is yours.
Holy cow, what is this? You know what I'm choosing? I'm choosing the White House. Independence Day, screw that. Just go ion cannon. That would obviously have the biggest impact on the world. I would think all of them would be crazy. But the White House would be, I think, a supreme shock. It's kind of weird. Lady, you can listen. Lady in the cleavage. You can listen to her in a second. But I thought it was weird how you didn't really see a change in time zone. They all kind of had the sun at the same angle, which would make sense time zone-wise in those pictures. But enjoy the final cutscene, guys. See you guys in the next walkthrough.
Attack past 600 today, as rescue workers and United Nations teams continued to sift through the rubble, unearthing 12 more bodies from what was once the seat of Western democracy. U.S. President Robert Fielding, safe at Camp David at the time of the explosion, reiterated his support of the UN statement, despite growing opposition to global defense initiative policies. Fielding labeled the disaster, quote, a mind-numbing accident. GDI Task Force Commander General Mark Shepard, accompanied by U.S. Attorney General Nancy Griffith, testified before a Senate congressional hearing earlier today. Shepard, once the golden boy of international diplomacy, wilted under intense cross-examination from hostile senators demanding explanations for the blast that leveled the historic landmark and sparked an international debate on the need for more effective safeguards in the age of high-tech warfare. Defensive but unapologetic, Shepard admitted he had no idea how security access for GDI's top-secret organization